My aunt is an absolute leech of a human being and took my mom for granted, stealing from her card when my mom tried to be caring and looked out for her, and now mom has completely iced her out, and my aunt is pissed that her mooching tactics no longer work. Posted by you/Maniac Madness Antics. So I, 28NB, have an aunt who we'll call Sam. She's always been an absolute F-up who goes into meltdown mode at the drop of a hat if things aren't going her way or if she's offended by the slightest thing. This almost 70-year-old woman throws tantrums that rivaled my unmedicated or improperly medicated bipolar episodes as a child and teen. I have plenty of stories about why she's a piece of crap, but this subs for consequences, and she often didn't get any. This, though, happened last Monday. Because Sam's health is so bad, she gets disability and one of those super cheap apartments for low-income people. For whatever reason, they dropped the amount of disability due to a clerical error that can be fixed if she just called them. But this woman is epically lazy, and it's not because of the disability, I can assure you. Again, this is a completely different story on a sub about consequences, so she just never did it. Because she doesn't want her sister to be homeless and starving, my mother began funneling so much time and money into Sam. My parents are trying to save to retire, but they're basically funding Sam's whole life. Help with rent, gas for her car, power bill, food, cigarettes, basically everything. And every month, Sam's disability has been gone sooner and sooner in the month. I could tell she was starting to take advantage of the help she knew my parents would give her, and I did mention it to Mom, but it was only a passing comment, not a discussion. Well, last Monday, Sam came to Mom's house with her tin can out, ready to beg more money off her sister. She needed cat food. She couldn't afford any. Could Mom please help? My mother has mobility issues right now. Something is very wrong with her foot, and she can barely walk around her house, never mind a store. So she couldn't go with Sam to the store. She also didn't have any cash on hand, so she gave my leech of an aunt her debit card. The noise I made at this point in my mother's explanation is something I will never be able to describe or replicate. She told Sam, "Go to dollar store, get food for your cat, a couple of things for you to eat over the next few days, and one pack of cigarettes." This would have come out to about $20 to $25. Sam being Sam, she did not do that. She went to local chain grocery, where everything is insanely overpriced, spent $55, and took an extra $20 in cash back. When she got back to my mom's house and explained this, claiming she wasn't sure if the dollar store would have everything she needed, Mom was pissed. Then she found out about the $20 that Sam had taken out without permission for gas, and she went from pissed to apoplectic. Sam has spent the whole week begging Mom for the favors she usually does, and claiming her feelings are hurt because Mom won't talk to her. Mom just keeps responding that she's still mad and Sam needs to leave her alone for a while to cool down. So Sam's not getting any money, any errands run, or any attention. She hates it. She's throwing an epic fit, but she bit the hand that was feeding her and drew blood. Top/relevant comments. Additional info from up. I'll tell you a few things that have happened to maybe paint a broader picture of her personality. My 21st birthday party started cracking just barely not homophobic jokes about me being gay until I literally left my own birthday party and went home. Easter Sunday, about 8 years ago, my grandpa started making jokes about the #MeToo movement. I cut him off and pointed out that it's not funny to joke about victims of SA and sexual harassment. Sam started ranting extremely loudly about how people are going to disagree with you and you can't expect them to be so sensitive for a good 5 to 8 minutes. We were in a family restaurant. Easter Sunday, the next year. Note that most interactions I have on here are from holidays because, as previously stated, I am as no contact as possible with this woman. My fiancé and I were living in the basement apartment of my grandfather's house. One of our bosses at the time needed to pick some keys up from us. He was in the driveway for less than a minute, and as he left, Sam was screaming insults at him. Grandpa had gone to pick her up, and she literally got out of the car while it was waiting to get in the driveway to screech at my effing boss. Then she saw my partner, meeting them for the very first time, and started screaming abuse and insults at them too. I came upstairs because my partner hadn't come back down and heard this and lost my absolute crap like I never had before, leading to a screaming match that just got worse and worse. At one point, she got one of those heavy manual can openers from the kitchen and was holding it up like she was going to throw it at me while still screaming about how stupid and terrible I was and how I was making her act like this, and it was of course all my fault. I told her she was acting insane, and she shrieked, "I take my meds," in the most accusatory tone I've ever heard. She was implying that I don't take my psych meds, which I do, and her taking her psych meds doesn't mean much when she's chasing me around the house yelling that she hates me and that I'm stupid and crazy. Christmas, a few years ago, Some of mom and stepdad's friends came to Christmas dinner because most of the family had moved away or passed away, and mom gets sad that it's just me, my partner, her, stepdad, and Sam. I introduced myself and my partner by our chosen names. We are both NB and do not like our dead names. Sam, who was in the same room as us, went on a rampage where she said that those were couple nicknames we call each other. When I tried to very politely diffuse the situation by firmly stating that no, these are the names we use and want to be called by, she freaked out and said that it wasn't my name because it wasn't on my birth certificate. By the way, my dead name is actually two dead names because I was given two first names at birth. I have exclusively gone by the first name only, but apparently that's okay even though it also doesn't match up with the birth certificate. I continued to firmly try and shut her down. I managed to keep from screaming myself this time even, and she just got more and more hysterical until she finally just effing left because I had offended her so badly. She used to live with my grandpa for free, and all she was expected to do was keep the house clean. She never cleaned. There were always months' worth of food stuck to the stove, the counters and floors were filthy, and she spent most of the time lying down and watching TV. She spent thousands of dollars of grandpa's money on scratch-off tickets. When she finally got kicked out, they found hundreds of tickets in her bedroom. For 2 years during this decade, the Christmas decorations were up year-round because she refused to put them away. None of these issues were ever resolved until my mom stepped in and cleaned the house, put away the decorations because she hated watching her dad live in that filthy house, but it wasn't mom's job to do that. It was Sam's. She just didn't. Grandpa finally kicked her out after she did something really egregious that I don't recall, but I've seen this woman beat on the hood of a visitor's car with her fists in full-blown hysteria. She sees a psychologist, but I don't know if that's even helping a little. Commenter. God, I hope your mom cuts her out completely. Ops response. We can only hope. Mom's been trying to shove her into a care home, she really needs it, for months, but Sam just refuses to go to the necessary appointments. Commenter 2. Here's hoping your mom keeps adding those consequences until Sam gets the message. Ops response. Cheers to that. I actually get the feeling that things are gonna start moving faster now, because there's no way my stepdad isn't gonna get involved after this. He gets crap done when he's been wronged, and he's the one working and paying for this stuff, so. Yeah, I'm expecting results. Commenter 3. Your mom knew what would happen when she gave Sam the debit card and PIN too. Setting Sam up for a fall, then acting like a victim. Jerk move by your mom, to be honest. Ops response. She is a victim. She has been nothing but generous and helpful towards her sister for months. Sam came for money for cat food, and mom said, oh, get some stuff to eat and a pack of cigarettes, too. That was already going overboard in helping her. Just because I think she did something really stupid by giving Sam her debit card doesn't mean that it's okay that Sam stole upwards of $50 from her. I've been lent her debit card before when I was in my late teens or early 20s and still living at home, and you know what I did? I bought the things I needed at the place where they were cheapest and came home with a receipt for my mother. The fact that a 70-ish-year-old lady can't have the same self-control as an ADHD bipolar young adult is not my mother's fault. Has Op's mother cut off money from Sam? My mother has completely cut off money and pretty much all errands, including those involved with getting Sam into a home. Basically, the only thing she's been doing is occasionally bringing Sam food. She's made it clear that it's up to Sam to get rides and find ways to pay her bills or get into a home, because she's a grown adult. It's actually working pretty well, all things considered. She also wasn't invited to Thanksgiving, but things had cooled down enough by Christmas that she came to Christmas, and things were very calm compared to the usual. Commenter 4. Let's just hope that Aunt Leech didn't have the intelligence necessary to think about saving the card info to her phone to use on online purchases later. Ops response. Oh nah, she's barely capable of using a cell phone, and my parents keep a close eye on their accounts. So if she did, she'd be caught instantly, and the cards would go into cancelled purgatory. Has Sam been taking care of her cat? She does dote on her kitty. I will give her that. The cat's in a very happy environment for herself. And when Sam's moved into a care home, my parents have already agreed to take her, and if, for whatever reason, they can't, I have also agreed to be second choice. But I already have 2 cats, and there's a pet limit of 3 at my trailer park. I don't really want to give up that last slot if I don't have to. Plus, it would probably upset my girls. I'll take her if I need to, but mom and stepdad are the better choice. They have one pretty chill cat and a happy little yappy dog. Commenter 5. Wow. So why didn't your mom try to fix the disability checks? Ops response. Because it has to be done by the person who actually got disability, as far as I know. I actually don't know much about what's wrong or how it works because I didn't ever really ask for details. All I know is they dropped the amount they gave her. Update 1 year later. So, you may or may not remember my post regarding my aunt, who, for the purposes of this post, we will call Sam. Here is the initial post, but the TLDR is that I, 29NB, was told by my mother about my BTCH of an aunt stealing about $50 from my mother. I will address a couple of points real quick for clarification. Anyone who was worried about my mother's leg issue, there were a few people in the comments. She had a clot or something that was cutting off blood flow to her foot and part of her calf. They managed to get rid of it before it ruined her leg badly enough to require amputation, and she is fine now. Currently packing for my parents' move across the country when my stepdad retires in November, actually. Sam's cat is safe. She ended up being taken by the neighbor Sam got her from as a kitten. Now, onto the important bit. After Sam blatantly took advantage of the fact that my mother had something wrong with her leg and couldn't walk around her own house, let alone accompany her to the store, Mom took a huge step back. No more rides, Sam's an adult. No more money, Sam's an adult. The only thing that Sam really got from anyone was the occasional box of food, mostly food from the food bank that my fiancé and I were not planning on eating. No more going above and beyond for a woman who refuses to get herself help and screams constant insults. I'd say it might be dementia, except she's been this crazy my whole life. Despite this, Sam started getting more and more demanding, using her increasingly poor health and mobility to try to bludgeon my mother into helping her. To the point where, one of the examples Mom gave me, she couldn't get up from the toilet without help, so she called my mom, demanding that she drive 45 minutes to Sam's house to help Sam off the toilet, only for a neighbor to have already done it by the time Mom got there. Sam ended up in the hospital. I think someone called an ambulance for her? I'm not sure, as Mom just said she went to the hospital. I'm so proud of my mother. Sam called her and demanded she get some of her things from Sam's apartment for her hospital stay. Mom said okay, left the stuff at reception, then she drove home. She told me that in the moment Sam called her, she knew this would be the last favor she did for Sam. The last time they would have contact. She didn't even bother bringing Sam's crap directly to Sam. Sam has lung cancer and will be going into hospice, and that is all we know and all I care to know. This all actually isn't new news. Mom cut her off months ago. Sam could very well be dead by now, and I wouldn't know it. If there's a funeral, I ain't going. I hate this woman. She has made my life hell for 2.5 decades, and I severed any emotional attachment to her years and years ago. Since I finally don't have to keep any kind of cordial relationship with Sam to keep my mother out of the crossfire, I am free. I never have to speak to that woman again. I routed all her calls to voicemail and muted her text notifications. I'm never going to speak to her again. Mom and stepdad are never going to speak to her again. Hell, even her brother, who is a scumbag in a completely different way, is never going to speak to her again. Her terrible behavior, hysterical tantrums, threats of harm, entitled attitude, and just generally being awful has led to the consequences of her inevitably dying alone from a terrible disease with no sympathy from me. /relevant comments. Commenter. I remembered the original post as soon as I started reading, and I'm so glad Op let us know Kitty is safe. Op, I'm glad this woman is out of your and your family's lives. I hope you can all put her out of your minds altogether soon. She's not worth the mental energy it takes to think about her. Op's response. Oh, I totally agree. It's why I took so long to post the update. I literally just forgot about her for a while. Not my problem. Never again.